I think the proof of it all, and he's such a good pro, the proof of it all, he walked off the pitch shaking his head, you know, and almost saying, oh, you know, I've got to do better, having been the hero again. So we need him in the team like you can't believe. But I just hope that when it comes to this amount of time that the centre-halves are getting on the ball, that Egan gets it more often, perhaps, to go in. I think he looks more tidy, comfortable, and can slip passes in a little bit quicker than Shane can. And that Shane, maybe 1 out of 5 does it, but leave that stuff to Egan.
But also too, Niall, I think that, you know, the coaching staff have to put a better framework in place for him. Because I was the same as Shane Duffy. I hated having to make decisions and try and fire balls into midfield and break lines of passes, because that wasn't me. So I always liked when the manager gave me an option. There's the number 6, there's your number 8, and there's your full-back, and there's your check down of passes, and you just give it to the players. Because Shane Duffy, for me, is the first name, one of the first names on the team sheet. We're building a team around him for the future.
Okay, that's important, Damien, because some people were asking the question last night: can Shane Duffy be in this type a team that plays the style of football that Stephen Kenny wants to play?
Definitely. I think he's one of the first names on the T-sheet. He's a fantastic lad. He's a fantastic leader. He's all the attributes that you look for. But last night, he showed up that he has some limitations, and I use that word because I was the exact same. So it's not a criticism. I know exactly how he feels, you know. And the bit where Matt Doherty presses in, and it's full-back on full-back. We've never seen that before in Ireland. Before, the full-backs always stayed next to the centre-halves, and our wide players dealt with the full-backs. So no Matt Doherty jumps or bites on the pass, and if he gets spun down the side, I've been there. When there's green grass outside you and in behind you, you get nervous as a centre-back. So it's up to the coaching team, really, to put a kind of a structure in place for him, with and without the ball. So give him options.
And he has to be clever, which will come. I'm absolutely certain he will now just get so good at this. When he's asked to, he'll come in and he'll find the right pass. This is new. It was pre-season. He was he looked tired, you know, and the goal showed that. And a couple of straight passes showed that when he did get the ball in there. But as I say, more often, be clever enough to know when it's right for you, do the thing, and don't expose limitations on yourself. That's what great players do. You know, I'll go back to the great players I played. Paul McGrath never exposed himself, never got himself into situations where he got caught. Was always, I did everything that I did, made the game look easy.
So Damien's point, the coaching staff have to devise a way to make sure we have him in the team for all his other attributes and shelter some of the weaknesses.
Not shelter,
or
encourage to maybe, you know, do better at it, and work with John Egan to say, OK, as we try and do this more often, John, you'll go through more often than I will. But when I do, I'm OK with this. I tell you, he's going to bounce back from that. I know the type of character he is.
Look, he does have weaknesses. Every player has them.
Absolutely.
So you feel it's you know,
I feel his pain.
Devise a way
of what he was asked to do, because I've played for managers that have come in and said all of a sudden, and I feel very uncomfortable doing it because I'm very exposed. There's a lot of green grass around me. You know, normally he'd have a full back here, he'd have a centre back here, and a 6 here in front of him. He's insulated, he's nice, and I was the same. But when you're asked to break lines with passes and it doesn't come natural to you, he has some great attributes, some fabulous attributes, and he has to stay in the team for that. But give him options to simplify the game for him.